Father Campbell's Chapel. I'm really keen to see how this kind of plays out. We've seen this in competitive quite a lot. Father Campbell Chapel Nurse, I'm pretty keen on it. Always fun to see. As we see, Wretch Fate, pretty stock standard perks, I'd assume.
Yeah, definitely amongst the balancing like this. And yeah, notoriously known on Father Campbell's Chapel is the nurse throughout the years of competitive in the Oceanic region. Yeah, making a return back once more after some bugs happening over the couple of weeks and some nasty ones. So hopefully nothing bad happens in this match. But we do have the first chase going on to Pig here, who is just the main guy. When you think of Chinese dragons, you think of Pig just being outstanding both on the survivor and the killer, as well as Lin. Don't get me wrong, the entire team regardless, but Pig just being that name you all know and love,
Oh, this is
especially
Delhi.
keeping up with the World Cup. And yes, this is the Delhi chase. So, I mean, we definitely don't want this chase to be lasting any longer than what it needs to. Hopefully, we divert at some point. But our killer's just bloodthirsty here. Is going to be taking that first tag onto Pig, running all the way into corner 2. And this could be problems here, team. We are following up the chase on the side of Stay Naros here. He is more than happy to continue this chase onto our Flashlight Survivor. But Pig just narrowly missing that. This chase lasting a little bit too long, unfortunately. We really needed that down just there, but we are going to be running all the way into mid-6, but going down at the pallet ultimately, and we have some gen pressure in the background, so all in all, a very good start for the survivors. Just really unfortunate that Delhi's gone so early in the trial there, Peps.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate the Delhi's going to be going down there. Going to be getting hooked, actually, in a pretty decent hook, very centralized here. Let's see if they can get this double gen completed, and they definitely will after this kick, most likely. The Eruption procced on there as well. Oh, they're blinking over. They're going to try and deny it, I think, but they're barely going to get it done. It looks like he actually didn't finish in time, but they committed. They've finally got the gen for one hook, and that's usually kind of what you want to be on about around against the nurse on this map. But a bit awkward considering they were going to go for the save right there, but just not enough timing there. And they're going to have to back off and probably spread out and try to dismantle this bot side of the map, as they usually can be quite a few generators around the but I think it's more top-centric. We still do have this bit of a 3-gen around this 9 to 12 area on the map, so that's where Starry is probably going to look to play most likely as the trial kind of continues here, as Pig's still sitting on the hook. Wretch Fate in the background has procced as well, but already on the totem, going to be cleansing that one almost immediately.
It would be a crazy idea just to let Pig hit second here, and I think they're just trying to really recollect and take the match back into their grasp. Yeah, this hook is nasty at the moment. Just stay narrow, so able to apply pressure on that top side of the map and just simultaneously pressure the hook all in one hit. But we are going to go for the safe here on the side of our survivors, making it through. That was just generous. My God, that could have been trouble there, but well played out by our survivors. It's going to be a quick 2-tap onto NEAS there, or NEAS. We are going to be continuing on the chase all the way over to the 5 side of the map, onto Pig, who has his blood pulse leading all the way back into the corner. And we've been saved by the BT, by the endurance effect there. Just lasting a little bit longer than, you know, what it used to be, but Stay Naros going to be following up with some nice blinks. He's going to down Pig once more. This is not our DS player, though, unfortunately. Yes, this was our Delhi player for everybody still paying attention. Now we're going to be hooking just close here over towards this mid-6 hook, and now maybe just making work of these bottom side generators, as we can kind of, we do have like a nice little 4-gen over there, though, at the top side. So, you know, this hook is a little bit out of our way, and Stay Naros is going to try to apply pressure all the way over to this 9 generator, as we do get 12 in the background pop. So there's our 4-gen gone, but it's still quite a 3-gen here between main, mid 12 and 9. And you do have these 2 gens all the way over at the bot side. So this is all very holdable for Stay Naros.
Yeah, no, I really like that they kind of identified that there was going to be a potential 3 to 4 gen on that top side, and they're instantly just trying to dismantle that, getting that first gen done. Probably going to get the reset to come through here. And I like that Starry try to play a bit aggressive there, wanting to defend that 3 to 4 gen, but noticing the gen gets complete, they have a bit of time to kind of come back here, just try and secure this death. But we're going to be seeing Lin coming in here, has the decisive strike, has inner strength, doesn't really have any tools here to try and help them off of the hook. So going to be basically just straight up trading here, as they will be going down momentarily, or we're just going to be applying the BT, actually just maybe to try and follow up here and just guarantee the down. No FTP shenanigans are going to be able to come through here onto the survivor. And no, just barely going to be missing that hit. And that allows Pig to get a bit of distance here to get towards the top side, which is actually what they need. They're running towards the right side of the map as well, towards that 1 to 3 area, away from that 3-gen, which is actually very, very crucial. You're going to be dying as far across the map as possible. I'd assume they might be just trying to double one of these generators, maybe towards that 9, 10. Yes, they're actually going to be able to complete this, which is actually going to be massive.
Monumental even, yeah. I mean, the pressure is very good. The death locations are on par as well for the survivors. Even though they aren't having the best match, as we do
Oh
have a
no.
tunnel out at 3 generators remaining. We mess up the skill check. I gotta shut up because now everything's turned on its head. We found an injured survivor here all the way 10, but we're not opting to chase it. We're opting to go for the gen kicks here over at, mid 12 in this 9 area. We do see, I do believe that was Sakura just vaulting that edge map window there, but we know that somebody injured is working this mid-12 generator, and we've taken ground back into the killer's hands once more. Nia's just kind of caught here doing a little bit of the open face tech there over at that mid-12, but Steinaros is going to take walk back over to these generators here, and he does see the scratch marks leading all the way into deep 6. So,
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, nice chase here from Sakura, dropping that firecracker there and trying to make away from the currently active generators. But I don't know, now he's just kind of caught out here over at 7, corner 7. So evading the hit very nicely. I'm not too sure what happened there. I'm not too sure if that was a little bit of bug or the spectator bug or whatnot, but I got a little bit disoriented myself. But we are going to be following up back onto Sakura, who has just ran back to this generator here over at 10. He is playing immensely well to be able to delay the tag this long, my God. And now Steinaros knows he has to leave this and try to apply pressure somewhere else, as we do have our injured survivor. Nias just running all the way into edge 3. Yes, like I said before, the pressure is there. The pressure... Oh, well, we do get the down there, but yes, no, the pressure is on from the side of the survivors. It is going to be Nias on the hook now for the first hook of them. Build-wise, we do still have access to Pop and Eruption. We don't have access to Wretched Fate or Corrupt Intervention anymore. Chillin as well, working a gen in the background here. So this could honestly go either way, but I'd say Steinaros needs to find a chase within the next couple of seconds, in all honesty, Peps.
I think Sakura honestly kind of clutched this game from quite heavily. I think Starry overcommitted there and just really wanted the tag and most likely just leave right after and go back and patrol the generators. But just taking that much amount of pressure off that top side of the map, allowing them to get that generator completed. And now, honestly, I feel like it's kind of favorable towards the survivor side now, unless maybe Starry can get a nice little quick 2-tap around the killer shack right about now. That is exactly what they need to try and get back into this game. But nice double back from Sakura. Absolutely on point on the survivor side in this game. It's absolutely crazy. Honestly, just putting the team on their back right now in these chases, making up for lost time in the early game. Oh my God, and the Bleed's gonna get swallowed by Starry into Sakura, running back into that wall. I don't know if he intended that, but running into that wall kind of made the blink get sucked into that wall there. So denying that blink, and now we're gonna be seeing Nia's gonna be getting chasey and tagged immediately. It seems like they just can't tag Sakura in this game, apparently.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe we... You know what? In honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if he slugs us to uphold the pressure. No, he is going for the pickup, sorry, as he did see over in the background the eruption proc onto 9. Is pretty comfortable in his position at the moment. We do see Sakura just healing up in the background as well to kind of reset the match there. We do see Lin just working 9, and we are going to be traversing over there on the side of Steinaros. Is going to be able to catch him off guard, though. We wonder where has he gone. He has pre-left all the way down into deep 12 here, where he has access to some nice fillers, some nice line of sight breakage. As we do take the kick over to 9, we might be going more towards the hook here on the side of Steinaros. Sakura just kind of pinned at the moment. Does he go for the board? Does he play patient? He's opted to play patient here. I would assume that Sakura obviously would go back on that generator over at 9 when safe to do so. And now just finding this very safe location to be able to stealth around the pool here. I mean, Steinaros really needs to find this stealthing survivor at the moment if he is to take grounds on this match once more. But, I mean, he is going all the way back down to the middle of main, trying to fake it maybe and try to catch out the pulling survivor off guard. We do see the little wiggle off the hook, but that's just them wiggling. I thought that we're going for the little bit of a pull. Yes, the patience game is there. It is 100% there, and we do see Lin just working that gen over at 9. But now we're just kind of forced to leave the hook here on the side of Steinaros. He can't afford to really commit this. Actually, he's just going to opt to play his freshers maybe and just kind of concede the fact that he will be getting staged. Wow. Oh my God.
What the hell?
I'm not too sure what happened there, but wait, we're opting to slug this and play the aggressive game. Hold on a second. Ladies and gents, we have caught out our Renato player here, Lin, who's ran all the way into deep 12. And yes, Steinaros knows to give him a little bit of nopus. No, sir, you are not getting that generator done just yet. And all of a sudden, the game has flipped on his head just a little bit here as we are getting the pick back onto Nia. So, you know, the survivors here are actually playing very well to, you know when to play aggressive, know when to play defensive. Yeah, like you said, Peps, just the patience there before is really what's setting them up for the success in the long run. And Lin even pre-leaving this generator. Look, he's all the way in deep 12 right now as we get a reset in the background. So Stay Naros feeling very comfortable to chase this at the moment. Knows he's not missing out on too much. Is going to be ran all the way into deep 12 here. Now playing the check box very nicely on the side of Lin.
Oh,
My God, we've done a little bit of jiggy juke and we've able to make all the way back into mid 12. Is he going to be able to do it for the second time? Re-release the first album, if you will. No, he's going to be getting tagged and running all the way into that active generator, following up the tags from the side of Stay Naros onto Lin. He is running away as fast as he can, but is he going to be able to outrun the blinks? I don't think so. No, he is. He's going to be able to miss that swing, dodge that swing rather, sorry, and now it's running all the way back into deep 12, all the way back into that corner. I wonder what the survivors in the background are doing, but we faked the long blink on the side of Stay Naros, and that's going to be chilling down, but it doesn't matter. It was all for nothing as we do see the double in the background. We are slugging again on the side of Stay Naros to try and intercept the generator all the way into corner 5, but does he make it in time? I don't know if they just commit this. We have gone for a little bit of a split, so I don't anticipate that we did, as we did see preemptively a little bit earlier that it was Nears just running off that generator to make another death spot here. Good blinks from the side of Stay Naros. Is it going to be consecutive? Is it going to be perpetual? Who knows? We are going to be running on the short side of Shaq here. Blinking once more. We fucked it up. No, but we've dropped the pallet as we have 2 blinked here, so it's going to take a little bit of time to recharge. Near's trying to make as much distance as he can all the way back into 8, into 7. And Stay Naros on a little bit of the back foot here. Really needs this down, and he knows it. He's fumbling the bag just a little bit. Pep's taking away. They're going crazy right now.
Honestly, this is actually getting so intense. The timings, the pickups, the constant downs, the tags, and then the jukes from the Survivor side. Nia making up for a few of those quicker downs early and absolutely clutching in this endgame. Going to be utilizing the balanced landing there on that little bit of that drop-off in the basement stairs. And now Starry is forced to try chase after the generator getting completed in the background. And all of a sudden, the game just got flipped on its head. The Survivors have finally got all the generators done. And the thing to mention here, that's not a fresh hook Survivor remaining either. So they're going to have to slug here. They're going to have to find one of the 2 remaining survivors, because that is not who you want in this endgame. I think they will be able to make it to this door in time, but the question is, will they be able to catch one of them out? They have that desperate measures here to get that faster healing going. And now Starry, we can probably take a breath now. That whole like 2-minute period was absolutely intense. Quick timings and just constant back and forth tug of war action.
The unbreakable, and he's back up. He might even escape right now. And like, you know what? Stay Naros is just pinned right now. He doesn't know what to do. He's been checkmated to some degree. As we do force lock here on the side of Nears, he is just forcing to take this last stage onto him as opposed to getting one of our fresh looks. As you had mentioned just before, we are getting that door done over at 3 as well. So this will be, yes, 2 fresh hooks out. That is 6-2 at the moment. So a very respectable result for both sides, I might add. After a very rough start, you know, losing Delhi and getting the tunnel out fairly early in the game. But again, like I had said, what do I know? That's just my consensus on the match that had just played out. But we're going to be loading into the match for the 3rd time around. And hopefully this time everything is all good for our killer and for our survivors. Again, it is a no-fault restart, meaning that there will be no fault. There will be no penalty. There will just be a restart. And as we load into the match here, we do see our survivors spawn all the way at the bottom side with our killer spawning at the top side here. If we do take a quick look at our generators, they are in a massive cluster on the bottom side here. So maybe you can expect Pig to just kind of hold this 3 generator over in the corner of Shaq there. And even Main does have access to a nice 4 gen, even a 5 gen, if you will, if he's just playing in the middle of Main.
That's Ruin, sorry.
No, yeah, we've opted to go for Ruin instead of Wretched Fate. You know, you don't have access to Pop Goes the Weasel and Eruption, obviously, now that you have Ruin into effect here, so that could be problematic, as that does enable the survivors to play through the Ruin, but we are going to be taking this first chase onto Teacher here on the side of Pig, our Renato player, who is going to be running the edge map, getting hit first once, but maybe does he have access to an exhaustion here? I'm not too sure if he used one right off the bat, if he was the sprint burst player. Ooh. He's going to be doing a little bit jiggy around the edge map fillers, edge map trash fillers there, so he's going to be making a nice death location here over at 7, but he is in the cluster of generators.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is where the corrupt intervention is. So when the save eventually does come through, when the down probably comes through shortly, you would hope, they're going to have to try and work this Renato towards the top side of the map. The thing that will actually help them get towards that top side is they are the decisive strike player. They are the dead hard player. So, you know, with that save, they can get that distance with the DS and then also get extra distance with the DH if it is timed well, which can come in pretty crucial here. So a bit of a better start here. They have people obviously working gens. A pretty decent chase as well. A generator popping, that's definitely the pace you want to see here at the bare minimum. So decent start here for the survivor sides if they're going to try and make this win con work for them. Remember, it's 2 fresh 6 stages what was in the last game, so that's what they have to try and beat here, or at least maybe even try to tie if they're trying to look for something like that. And now we have 2 teachers kind of seeing the hook. Starry getting found out here, and now immediately just going to be blinking on them. As you said, I think Pig's going to try and play around maybe this gen cluster on this bottom side, and now Nia's going to be getting tagged there, having to run towards the top side. This is definitely the direction you want to be running. I do like that Pig's playing pretty aggressive here. Going to be going for the down most likely, and trying to just see if they can get this down as fast as possible, as 2 teachers definitely going to be getting healed here. Starry now forced to try and run towards this 3 area of the map, maybe towards the edge map here. Now Pig gonna have to try and make an adjustment on the blink here to see if they can try and get them on the back end of it, but no, just such good chases here from Starry.
Showing why KaitOkids picked this set. Not only is there Killer Well verse, but they're survivors too, and we've kind of I thought we did lose sight as the bitrate was a little bit choppy on my end, as we do see the chase being brought back over here into corner 2 on the side of Stay Narrows. My god, the pathing is immaculate, and we are going to be following up all the way into 3 with the line of sight breakage. Where does he choose to go? Does he choose to go more central or more along the sides of the map here? Even Pig's a little bit lost as we're trying to listen out for the grunts of pain, and we managed to catch out Stay Narrows after saving our last blink after the first blink, but we are going... Oh my god, even I'm getting mesmerized by the jiggy here. We've gone all the way into corner 2 again, really delaying this down. It's a lot longer than what it needed to be on the start of that killer. We did get a generator procced in the background as a result of that chase, but again, there was no pressure there, unfortunately, after the down. So we are going to be taking this hook here over at 2. We are going to be recollecting the match on the side of Pig here. He's going to go back to his generators that are in a cluster here over at the bottom side of the map. So he's really going to be wanting to hold this main mid 6, 7, and 8. No, don't make the joke. I will cry. But we are going to be rotating here over to the mid 6 gen as we do take the eruption, kick the eruption proc, and the the pop proc. Pain resonance being in this set, my god, would have been something aside to see. But we are going to be rotating here over towards more of the 8 side of the map here, taking this dry kick onto this generator, eruption procced on that as well. So maybe we're going to be trying to find a stealth out, somebody playing a little bit aggressive for the generators, but the survivors playing very patiently. And this is the patience that you would have seen last set as well from the side of Chinese Dragons. Yeah, these guys, we even got one in the basement. My god, Queen is really playing extra safe, and we don't have a tunnel out at the moment, so the survivors definitely have the upper hand to start get the ball rolling. Everybody in the trial healthy as well, my god. Ruin gone out of the trial, so we are a 2 perk Andy as it currently stands like last match, but 3 generators still remaining is really anybody's game. It just depends what the pressure's looking like in the next, I want to say 30 seconds to a minute, and we really need a chase on the side of our Pig, on the side of Pig here, as we don't really want to spiral into an absolute I don't even know the word for it, but something that's really bad. Anyway, we are going to be continuing on the chase here. I do believe that is our Nia player in the background. If my eyes have known, it is our Ronaldo player 2 teacher, who's going to be running the edge map 12, going to be delaying the tag very nicely, is going to use the half wall of the Z wall going into deep 12 now, is breaking the line of sight again, and this is what people got to really get down, is breaking that line of sight, and the wacky pathing will work. This is exactly what I was saying with Chinese Dragons and the S tiers. It's like, their survivors were just so well versed, but Pig is really struggling on the micro mechanics here, and macro mechanics, sorry. He's going to finally get that tag onto 2 teacher over at Deep 12. That undetectable effect coming in via the add-on. So and we're off to the races, ladies and gents, as we do intercept the generator here over at 12. We are going to be continuing the chase over into 2 here. That was an amazing dead hard from our Renato player there. The 2 teacher is going to be dropping the firecracker, anticipating the blink over into the corner of 2, and we're getting swallowed on the side of Pig, and we've been disoriented. The pathing is immaculate times 2. He's going to be running all the way to 12. Do we hear it? We don't. Now we finally do. We catch glimpse of the scratch marks again, leading all the way into corner 1. He's playing incredible going down, and we get the eruption proc in the background. I don't think it means a lot because we are so far away from the generators being worked. As we do get 1 pop, is it going to be the 2 pop? We did see the ace on the gen a little bit momentarily earlier. Was it the same generator? It was. I was getting a little bit excited there. I thought we were at the end of the game here. They do have a little bit of stages to kind of spend. They do have about 2 more as their win con is 5 stages, so they can't afford to lose 2 more stages. My God. If they get 6 stage, that is the tie condition. Granted that we do have 2 hooked survivors in the trial, though, so it would only have to be two teacher and Stay Naros dying in this this state. White and Quinn cannot be found. If they are found, they really need to last in their chase. And as I say that, we do see Stay Naros here over into corner of 7, greeting this pallet here, playing line of sight once more. He's going to be eating the tag, though. He's going to have access to life. That is a life play, vaulting the pallet if I've ever seen one. And Pig really trying to catch up and close the distance here on the side of our nurse, but he is going to be ending up on the wrong side of the wall there. Stay Naros utilizing the main building as we have vaulted one time, trying to jiggy out the blinks here, but not falling for it on the side of Pig. He's going to play the line of sight game and is going to be catching out Stay Naros. Back on the floor you go. Now, you can anticipate that they're just going to be doubling 12 in the background there, as we did see that it had progression a little bit before as we rotated into the bottom side of the map on the side of our killer. We are going to be going for an aggressive pull on the side of Quinn, as I don't think he'll really allow to Stay Naros to really stay on this hook. It really isn't necessary. And we are going to be rotating to the correct generator on the side of Pig here. He knows he's called out the survivors in a bad position. That injured survivor, you better hope, is not found, because then we're in problems, team, even with this amazing split that we've got. But he's gone for the pull. My God, and he's played aggressive. I honestly thought Quinn would be going for the pull, but Quinn is playing immensely stealthy. That is the 5th time that I've said immensely tonight, by the way. Just like to point that out. We do have a lot of pressure sitting over here around that other generator on the bottom side of the map. We have caught glimpse of one of the injured survivors, as we do see the pools of blood. That is going to be Stay Naros with the med kit in hand. He's going to be running all the way into corner 2 now, and they've opted to completely abandon that generator over at 12. Pig's going to get a little bit worried about it, but you have eruption on that, buddy. You need the down regardless. It's going to be popping on the bottom side of the map, and we're on! We have access to 4 stages. Do KaitOkids take away the set? And this, if they do, this will be the first set loss for Chinese Dragons in the tournament at the moment, coming from KaitOkids, our Thailand gods at the moment, Peps.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a very intense endgame right now. I'm not too sure how the points work, but this will be... They definitely need the 3 freshes. You'd probably want to try and get a fresh hook survivor, obviously, in this endgame. There'll be 3 fresh 6, so... Yeah, I think that'll end up just being the victory here if they can get a fresh hook death here. But they're not able to find a fresh hook survivor. It's going to be a death hook here. And if they can get the 2 teacher out and then Starry dies in the corner here, it will be the victory. And the game, this door at 12 open, it's too far away. As you said, I think this is going to be the first set loss here. I don't think Pig can do anything about it. They're going to be checking the door, but it's going to be the wrong one. And no, this is going to be... It's going to be 7 stages out the door. So, yep, that's going to be the victory here. And that's an absolute intense set. We can finally take a breather here, take a breath, as they're going to be healing up. And this should just be the GG well play. Yep, everyone's going to be leaving. And the Unbreakable as well, going to be coming through just to put salt in the wound. It's going to be 4 survivors out the door.
So even I'm a little bit worried about my macro knowledge on as far as this killer goes. She is on the retro shop, so one of the biggest maps in the game. We are going to be taking into the head form here to find our stealthing survivors all the way over at the 3 side of the map. So not quite finding anybody just yet. Heading really deep into this corrupt area over at this 4 side. We do have access to this nice dumpster filler, but we have caught glimpse in sight of somebody straight off the rip, and this will be our ace player, I do believe, 2 teacher. No, he's going to be Stay Naros. Sorry, I stand corrected. Who is going to be, who was our first chase last game? Is going to be hit with that infection rate, and bam, there comes the head form here. Now, what can we do on the side of NF? We're going to be missing that, unfortunately. Just going to be eating the window there, trying to play a little bit of the mind games in this head form state, but we've got to the shack. Wait, we saw them and the killer did it. There's no way. That's mighty unfortunate stuff. That's given us so much distance that we really didn't need to be giving on the side of our killer here. We have caught out a body as well coming in for Stay Naros. Now, this is the tech here. This is what we were talking about in the intermission here, Peps. Is usually the game plan for this killer is to tank bodies if you are healthy, if you are not infected. And that is exactly what is happening right now. Extremely early, but we do have adequate gen pressure in the background. That is a 2 split that is happening right now. Not too sure whereabouts, but we are going to be continuing on back to 2 teacher. He is going to be getting infected, but that pallet is going to be slapped in NF's face for just distance to be made here on the side of 2 teacher, going all the way into the middle side of the map. Does have access to a nice eye feeler now. Does he opt to drop this or just eat the tag and go away? And you know what? It's going to be neither of those things. NF is going to go for gen pressure here, as we do see failed skill check on the side of our Jacob White, who is running to corner 7, is going to be making his way away from 9, away from 10, where you can anticipate the other survivors are. It's going to be using this really weird laid out 4 wars, pre-dropping that and trying to play the check spots. He is injured, so he will be eating a tag here from the head form. That is going to be the the second tag of the match there, and a consecutive down via another tag there, unfortunately. So, I mean, basement hook here. Do we opt to use it? Do we opt to go for a pain raise? I'd say we'd just go for the pain raise over at 4. What do you think, Peps? Oh, we're going for basement. Never mind.
Not gonna lie, that's creepy as hell the way they pick up in the head form, but they're gonna be hooking them, yes, in the basement on that back hook. Really nicely played early from the Survivor side, but we'll eventually get that hook on that top side of the map, sorry, bottom side of the map. Now it's just interesting to see what the layout of the generator spread will be, and if they have something to kind of play around the Killer Shack here. It looks like, yeah, they have a few gens, definitely like a little bit of a 3-gen here around the Killer Shack, as they're going to be able to get that infection. They're going to be getting... they're in the tier 1, so they... Oh, not quite in the tier 1. They can't use the head form to whip them, as they're going to be taking that hit, going away from that generator onto the crane, but that generator was literally on 99%. They were trying as hard as they could to commit, because actually is a pretty good gen to knock out of the way. It would have denied them to be able to just kind of just sit in this corner around the Killer Shack, but unfortunately not able to get that one, and it's going to be getting regressed there. So now they're kind of forced to try and play around the current hook on white here, and now 2Teacher injured and probably going to be going across the map bar to get reset by the Survivor, probably still on the gen that's progressing, most likely going to be running over to Stars. I think we saw Queen kind of slowly coming in here, trying to see if they can sneak into this basement, but I mean, it looks like White's just going to go second stage, and Queen's just been wasting a lot of time here, as actually they're going to get found out.
Maybe they get it just in time with the light. No, yeah, they just don't make that, unfortunately. But we are going to be utilizing the window here. Yeah, once the basements just kind of happened at the retro shop, sometimes it just be pretty hard to get out of. Want to just go back on the fact of what was happening there over at 7. Yeah, just... I don't think there was a ruin check, unfortunately. We didn't know that the killer had ruin, and as we jumped off the generator, there was way too much regression. I do believe that was 5% gone, and we weren't able to tap the generator after momentarily getting off it to evade getting grabbed. But as we do take a quick 2-tap onto Quinn here, we're going to be going back to the basement. That is a very tight 3-gen, unfortunately. Going down in the middle of it is Quinn, but we're going to be opting to go for our tunnel out here on the side of White, who has ran all the way over into 3. Doesn't really have much to go on here, but has not been infected, so, you know, there is that to work with, as he want to be making distance away and not being zoned edge map into 3. He's going to be playing the long ball of this filler pallet here. The body's coming in from Stay Naros, but he's going to be getting infected, and that's going to be a body no longer, as we do take the infection rate back onto White, and now the head form coming out. We're a little bit faster, and this can be proved to be pretty problematic, but we are going to be taking the tag anyway on the side of Stay Naros, and that's going to allow White to make 12. Now, he has to be extra careful here, as he really wants to be... Wait, we've been mind gamed, but we've mind gamed the mind game. Hold on, what's happening here, folks? And now we're going to be trying to make the window, but we're getting caught. And that will be White down. Not enough time to get up and running in that gen pressure back on the board. We are going for a little bit of a triple reset here over at bottom 6, as we do take the first pain resonant stack of the trial here. So tunnel out at 2 gens remaining. Not the worst thing in the world. Unfortunately, the survivors don't have the upper hand, as they were forced to leave our tunnel out to second. That will be them out of the game. I would say if our survivor was still in the game, our tunnel out, we would have been setting ourselves up for outs 100%, but now it can really be anybody's game. Which one? Sorry, the Kate? Oh, no, wait, I missed Kate. We have seen the near here over at corner 5, Stay Naros, who will be trying to juke the head form. Unfortunately, not quite working out, but does have access to life. Is going to be faking one way, faking the other. Going to caught out in the middle of Shack. Not really much to go on. Head form back into our hands here, but we do make the pallet over at that deep 5 spot, pre-dropping it instantly. And F going to be following up and getting a very nasty hit over the pallet. My God.
That was very generous, that hit, but now another hook in the basement to so choose. No, it's going to be the pain res, also still basically in the 3-gen regardless, just kind of sitting in the corner there. They have to somehow try and get one of these generators out the way at this point, because right now it is looking like it's going to be most likely a 4K1 with this 3-gen spread and the pressure that NF has on this Kraus, and is playing really, really well here. We also are seeing a lot of good altruism from the Survivor side, but I think just the death locations and then maybe just taking a few too many injuries in that mid game maybe is coming back to bite them here, as the save is going to be coming through decently timed, is when the kill is pretty far away. They're completely now regressed and have actually removed all of the infections. So now, yeah, going to be going back into that body form to see if they can apply some more of this affection stacks in amongst the Survivor squad now. NF now trying to see if they can try and get a bit of a snipe here on this 4 lane, but not quite going to hit. Now 2Teacher will be getting that infection, going to be switching to that head form to try and see if they can get the subsequent tags, and it will be getting tagged here. Ace definitely needs to try and run away from this 3-gen if possible. but we're going to be seeing NF just catching up so quickly with that head form.
Yeah, definitely, as we do take another chase over here towards mid 4, sorry, at the eye filler. Unfortunately, running the wrong side and getting down off the short side on the side of 2Teacher. He's going to be hooked with that first pain resonant stack on the side of him. And this is going to slow the game down even more now. NF is really in a power position to be 4K touring, potentially, well, 4K winning, potentially 4K touring. You do have access to 3 survivors left in the trial, and they all do have at least one more hook stage to spare. Only fresh in the trial being Quinn, who is taking chase all the way over into corner 11. He's going to be getting tagged just before making that pallet, running all the way down to 11. Going to be pre-dropping these nice fillers laid out for us as well. Vaulting the pallet is NF. Going to be following up consecutively. Now, can he get this down in the head form? He's going to go in the headlight form. I'm not too sure what this form was called again, but it was like the fast where you can't attack. But we are going to be going down in the normal head form, unfortunately, just before we reach the pallet over at 10 as we go for another pickup, hooking into mid 10 on the side of NF now. Where do you go from here? Where are we? Not a pain resonance hook, and what are the survivors doing? We did see a reset in the background, so they're both up nice and healthy. I dare say they'll be going for a mean split, but we do take chase back onto 2Teacher, going all the way to the dropped filler over at 3. Now, faking one way and going the other has forced NF to use this infection rate in the wrong direction. And now we're going to be vaulting the pallet back on the side of 2Teacher. Really trying to evade that head form coming in and making as much distance as humanly possible, faking the window vault, but we're not falling for any of it on the side of NF. He's going to be missing that dash just ever so slightly, and now that's going to allow 2Teacher to make the bust, pre-dropping that, and just maybe does he make this vault? No, he doesn't. He's gone for a little bit of a corner attack, anticipating that we would just be lunging instantly on the side of NF. Would have worked on a less experienced player, killer player, sorry, but definitely not for NF. And now following up, we are going to be getting mind gamed over at that long side of the bus after vaulting the pallet. Just a mean bus. It's not as strong as what it once used to be back in its glory days, Peps, if you remember that. But we are going to be taking another pain resonance hook onto our survivor.
There's no window. I was like, wait, what? This is the doorway. Yeah, that's nowhere near as strong as it used to be. And it's actually crazy how fast this killer can actually strike out of that flight mode. It leaves like a little bit of no real counterplay if you're running in between tiles. They can just easily catch up and probably down you or tag you before you even make a pallet. But now you're going to be seeing the Nia Starry trying to make a start on this 3-gen that we have on the bot side of the map here. As now, that was like, it's interesting to note before about the pain resonance as well. We still have, well, we did have all of our regression tools still available to the killer, but they did end up cleansing that ruin, so that's going to be taken out of the game now. Still have a few pain resonance and pop goes the weasels, but 2Teacher is that far ahead of pace now. They can actually just, you know, choose to camp this hook out and just guarantee getting it down to a 2v1. They do have the time, but now we're going to be seeing Kate coming in, actually getting a free pull in this scenario is absolutely massive, as they're going to be taking that infection, walking away, knowing they're going to have to try and go back towards this 3-gen potentially. That Nia Starry has got them, one of those generators in that 3-gen up to around about 75% at this point. So yeah, NF realizing that's definitely a possibility here, is going to have to back off from these survivors. Does notice that Gen is getting awfully close, and probably don't count them out. They've got a decent amount of progress on this Gen. They got something to work around here. Maybe they could try and bring this one back, but it's all going to come down to, I think, these next few chases.
Yeah, you need something to spur for the survivors. They really need to pull one out of the hat, as we were alluding to a little bit earlier. I mean, now just missing the infection rate on the side of NF, that's not exactly what you want here. Maybe just going to go and eat the M1 tag. Yeah, I was about to say, but we did charge up power just moments before. So now headlight form is going to be following up the chase here at this very short filler. We're going to be trying to send it, and I know that all too well. Sending that pallet is just not it sometimes, and unfortunately, it's a 50-50. You either win it or you don't, and you've just lost it, unfortunately, that's what I say now. So I'm not too sure if we actually had pain res used a little bit earlier when we hooked Stay Narrows, but we'll see moments in a few moments, and yes, we hadn't. So now going back to our 3-gen here on the side of NF, and you mentioned this a little bit earlier in the trial, Peps. My God, it is very, very close, and yeah, this is just almost too easy for the killer to uphold. I mean, you really just have to start trying to work that 11 generator in the background, but they're opting the reset here. Not really having a lot of faith in the chase on the side of Quinner here, just going all the way to 3. I mean, he does have grounds to make for a good chase around this dropped pallet. I'm not too sure, but you know, the survivors just playing it extra safe. This is going to be rinse, repeat at the cost of pallets after pallets, and it just will end up in a 4K2. But, I mean, as I say that, we do get the reset in the background. We're not following up the chase on the side of Quinna. We're going all the way back to main, and maybe we can pick someone out who has been spotted in an off location. That will be Stay Naros, just kind of sitting mid, trying to make all the way down to the bottom side. Dodging the infection rate very nicely. He's now going to be playing the L wall. Now, probably greeting for the T wall or something. No, just going to be getting tagged with the L wall there, trying to play the 50 mind game, and unfortunately not winning it, as we did have vision line of sight in the third person form. In the head form, rather, which is a lot more beneficial to us than the first person mode. As we do take the down onto Stay Naros, this will be only one survivor. Well, sorry, 2 survivors left in the trial. This will be another one gone. So really trying to play safe on the side of our killer and try to push the survivor as far from the pallet as we possibly can. Close. Not making the pallet save today. That is just not what we need on the side of the survivors, because that's another survivor injured, and there's no way to be healed at this point in time. So we're opting to go all the way down to 6, as we know that the other survivor can't do anything. It is very close. No access to ruin. The pop goes the weasel, and the eruption proc. No, we forgot about it. As we played it right that time, we had access to 2 perks that would have been able to kick the generator and regress it even further, as opposed to the last time where we only had ruin. So either way, we were screwed both times, but we are going to be vaulting the window here on the side of NF, following up the chase onto Quintna, who doesn't really have a lot to work with. Is just going to be going down. 2 teacher in the background, broken, injured, infected. We're going to be able to find him working the generator right in front of our face, apparently, for the 4K2.
That generator is awfully close. They fought tooth and nail to try and get one of these generators in this 3-gen out of the way, and they got close so many times, but it's just such a good 3-gen setup to defend, with the basement centralized right in the middle of all 3 of them, and NF taking full advantage of the good RNG that they got, and they're just not quite able to dismantle this 3-gen, and maybe they just, you know, overthought it and maybe just committed too hard maybe for the 3-gen to try and get rid of it, but they could have, I feel like they could have maybe got a 4K1 if they just try to get main done a bit earlier. Maybe try and guarantee that's going to be a bare minimum result, because a 4K2 is going to be very, very difficult for your killer side to manage.
No, yeah, definitely. A 4K3 even to take it away. My God, how aggressive do you actually have to play? And you have to force the error on the survivor. Incredible results happening on this map. But that being said, we do see Quinn just spawning over at the one side now, back into the head form here, trying to sniff out those stealthing survivors. Not in the fastest head format as it currently stands, but we do see some scratch marks leading around the side of Shaq. And we are going back into the corrupted zone here to catch someone off guard who would be intentionally stealthing as opposed to playing more aggressive. You don't want to be chasing the aggressive building. You know, you don't have to commit them at the very beginning of the game. But we are trying to get this infection rate onto our ace player here, Sakura, who's going to be pre-dropping that pallet now, eating the infection. And we are going to be going into head form momentarily once it comes back to us, as we do take the break and zoning all the way into 6. And bam, there it is. Quinn going up against Sakura, the Thai demon, the Chinese demon, back-to-back. Both champions at the moment, but we are going to be playing around that half wall very nicely on the side of Sakura, now making this 5 tile here, and again greeting the pallet here but also camping it at the same time. Is going to be pre-dropping it, making 6, and Quinn doesn't want any of that, knows he doesn't have to commit it. This is the last time he can drop chase, as he does find a double in the background, and he's going to interrupt 3, where we do see, I think that is chilling it, no, that is Pig in the background. Our Dustin player is going to be eating a tag, not from the infection rate but rather the M1 state, so he's still healthy. And we are going to be dropping chase once more on the side of Aeneas. Very reluctant to commit onto one survivor here, but this can bite us in the ass ultimately in the end. Maybe it's the play for this killer though, who knows. We are going to be going back into the head form as we do take chase back onto the loop of 2. We lose to 50 though. This could be detrimental as we do eat a tag and running back into that generator that has just been progressed moments ago. So we have to be extremely careful on the side of our meg here. Do we make Shaq? I do believe we do. And we are going to be pre-dropping that instantly, or even getting the stun. My God. Okay, a little bit of patience game is going to be winning that pallet more so than I would have anticipated, as we do take the kick on to the side of Quinna. We are going to be following up the chase all the way down into deep 6 as we do see a body coming in, a tank coming in, if you will. We do have the first generator proccing in the background. Ding, that's over at 9, and we are playing very well check spots to be very well versed in the 1v1s on the side of Neas, but what more do you expect from Chinese Dragons? So we are going to be running to the other side of the car, and then another side of the car, we do have the tank coming in. There it is. Sakuda, nice and healthy, free of the infection rate. He's going to be eating the spit there, oh no, sorry, the tag there from the headlight form. That is 1 out of 3 that you are allowed. That is a second generator in the background proccing, and all of a sudden we're at a problems team with no down to show for it, no hook to show for it. Oh my god, this could be the end.
Yeah, this is definitely the start you don't want to see with the win con they had to try and go for here. But, I mean, it was pretty hard to play around to begin with, but really insanely good chases. As you said, Chinese Dragons just very well versed in these sets. They seem so comfortable. All their survivor side players are very, very comfortable in chasing against this kill, as we're going to be seeing Queen taking form on that body form right now, just trying to see if they can get their infection up just a little bit, just enough so they can try to use their intestinal whip here in the head form. And yes, they're going to be able to get that tag, and now be able to switch back to that head form to see if they can get a tag on this. But they might be able to get a body here running to the active generator, as we'll be seeing Lin not able to make it back around. The tag will be coming through onto Sakuda there, and Lin just kind of casually on that generator in the background, just playing so aggressively. But they're at such a lead that, I mean, you can just kind of choose to play a bit aggressively here, I suppose. As we're going to be seeing Renata trying to come in, playing a bit of a distraction here, knowing that they can come in and take that tag for free, as Queen try to get that initial infection there, but not quite going to be able to hit that, as Sakuda now still on this was it 4-lane? No, modified long wall, sorry, as our Sakuda going to be trying to wrap back around. And as you said before, we're still yet to try and get a first hook in this game.
Yeah, I mean, after leaving the first chase a little too many times, I did say there was only one more instance where he could have left it. And yeah, there's Champion of Light to slow us down even more in the headlight form. And that does allow us to make the pallet outside of main, greeting it a little bit on the side of Sakuda. Does he win the 50? And he does. He's going to get that stun. Stunned again! He's going to be blinded as well, and now disoriented. We've gone for the window on the side of Sakuda, going to extend our chase a lot more. And that is the tie condition as it currently stands. We need everybody down on the hook, out of the game, if we are to take this set away from the side of Quinna. I mean, it's looking extremely, extremely unlikely. You have 2 healthy survivors, 1 at the moment in chase, 2 other survivors injured, but on generators momentarily. I think Sakuda, after eating that mushroom in the background, will be hopping on that double with Neas. We are going to be taking that tag onto the side of Lin. Quinn now going back to the bottom side where there was that generator being worked 99. I didn't see it in the background. So that will be them taking away the set. Chinese Dragons level the scores 1-1 as it currently stands. And now just back vaulting into the kill on the side of Sakuda, not quite being able to get the protection hit that we need from our Meg, is going to spell the first and only stage of the trial. So yeah, again, I think it also comes down to just map knowledge. We've seen this narrative before where Chinese Dragons played on Red Shop in the full set. That is diabolical that we were able to get that save, and we're just, wait, we've lost connection a little bit on the side of our killer. I do believe this will be a disconnect, and if that is the case, that will be all points awarded to our survivors. No, there's a little bit of a spectator bug, or maybe we did just come back into the game on the side of Quinna. So, you know, it's not that bad, mate. You can stay in the game. We don't have to disconnect just yet. But, I mean, following up the chase onto Sakuda again, our tunnel out, but we don't want any of it after taking that infection rate. We are going to be kicking this generator. The split is just, oh, that's just unfortunate, most unfortunate. We are going to be going back into our headlight form all the way down into corner 5, where we anticipate somebody is working this corner 5 generator. We see the 2 pistons pumping, so that's about 40% progressed at the moment. We are going to be taking the kick here. Eruption applied to that generator. We haven't really been able to make use of our build, as nobody's going down, nobody's going on the hook. We do have used 1 pain resonance stack, but at what cost? We're now out of 4k1. And, you know, potentially even outs. This is looking like a 3 to 4 stage as we do greet the pallet on the side of Lin. I need to shut up and just lock in for this chase, because how the hell is this man winning every single 50 known to man? Wait, we fought.
Oh, no.
Hello? We vaulted in and out, and I think it was just okay, never mind. I think it was because we charged power a little too early, and we weren't able to cancel it out, and Blinn probably knew that, which is why he vaulted back into the killer instead of running around the loop again, but we are going to be finally eating a tag. This is the body that we need. Being Peepo Fat, we've graduated from body blocking university on the side of our ace, Sakuda, who's going to be dodging the infection rate again, trying to play for the hatch. Released the first album, dodging it the second time. Is going to run around the corner of Shaq again, trying to make the long side. 3 survivors in the background. Now, do they open a gate and just all escape for the hatch play, or do they come in for the bodies after resetting in the background? So we do eat another tag on the side of Sakuda, playing the corner walls very nicely. He's going to be running back into our killer, and as we vaulted that, we have made immense distance on the side of Sakuda. He is going to be trying to jiggy out the bait, the attack, and unfortunately not quite working out for him. He's going to be getting hits, running all the way down to 2. I'm not too sure which gate would have opened, but I do anticipate it would have been 1, as we have ran into that direction, or at least it is being worked on. But yeah, that is the only cook survivor for a 3-stage game if we're able to take all freshers out the door, but we're playing for the best possible result on the side of our survivors. Pig playing extremely aggressive with this firecracker in hand. Does he drop it at the hook to try to bait out the killer from getting this hook here? My God, wait, what's happening here?
They want to get the survivors out. They want it 4-man out, I think. They're going to go for that same firecracker blind.
I mean, I don't know if... I honestly don't know if they get it. I mean, maybe. We're getting a little bit of body blocks here. We're getting body blocky. We really have to win this story on the side of Quinna. Is going to be entering back into the form that he needs, which is the M1 state, because we don't have any infection onto our Dustin Pig, who is now getting this protection hit that he needs on the side of our Meg. Just kind of holding the check spot corner and now going for the cheeky reset if we were just able to stay there in the middle of the loop there on the side of Quinn. That would have been just like the reset done and dusted. The life as well. We're all out. They can't get him. Incredible stuff. Coming at the top side now, when you're chasing a win condition, that's not what you need. But no, respectfully speaking, this is Suffocation Pit 1, and this is grounds for a lot of 4K action going on here. You don't see too many stages amongst the top tier teams. They do tend to really capitalize on these. We are going to be, oh my God, bumping into the survivor there, maybe the pallet, and now ultimately swinging into thin air, unfortunately, on the side of 2Teacher. Now, very similar to start to how we saw last failed game, but we are going to not chase Lin at the bottom side this time and opt to go for something a little bit more in our favor. It does seem to be our Meg, Nias, who is going to be playing the check spots over at the jungle gym, pre-dropping this pallet very nicely, zone breaking it on the side of 2Teacher, but we've gone all the way into mid here on the side of our Meg. And yes, this is a very strong part of the map to be taking the blight. We are going to be not eating a tag. You need, if you're going for the pallet there, you either need to get right up next to that survivor and make sure you hit them, or you have to just correctly just do a little bit of a micro correction amongst the diagonal portion of the pallet there just to get that hit instead of taking precedent of the pallet. As we do take chase back onto Lin at the top side of the map, he's going to be pre-dropping the minor filler there outside of the main building and now making to the coal pallet here. This one can prove to be pretty difficult against the blight sometimes, and we've opted not to chase this. Very smart from the side of 2Teacher to play the tags, but he has to commit this now. He cannot leave it, so this is going to be Sakuda in chase running around a very strong filler, but zoned into the edge map here. We're going to be breaking it on the side of 2Teacher by getting blind in the process. It is the Champion of Light coming into effect for an extra 20% hindered effect for, I think, 5 seconds, and now we are going to be eating the tag. We're going to be running into the main portion of the map here, trying to use the filler palette as we do have access to it, but this is going to be a very quick down on the side of 2Teacher, and you know that's sometimes the trade-off with Blight is you get hit with the M1 and he has all of these rushes. You just know ultimately 9 times out of 10 you're going down, which is why that makes him a very strong killer. We are going to be hooking over into this corner 2 where we do have access to a 3-gen pop. I'm not too sure if there was a 4-gen. I didn't quite catch a glimpse of that. Is a nice
kind of a 4-gen actually.
Spread. Yeah, it is if you count 3, it is definitely quite a bit of a 4-gen. We do have access to pop, goes the Weasel and Eruption, applying to this generator over at 3, and this is going to be the game back into the killer's hands as it currently stands.
Yeah, no, this is actually a decent start, I'd say, for 2Teacher. Bit of a slower start as we're going to be seeing Nias getting tagged. He's going to be running towards that bottom side of the map and getting a really well-placed hook here, like really very much just dead in the middle at the back of this, you know, loose forward gen that obviously is pretty manageable considering it is a blight here. And now two teams are going to be getting the regression of getting applied onto these generators with the eruption and getting all these generators pre-erupted, ready to go when the survivors try to dismantle a bit later. So I think we want to see two teachers just going to be going out on their own, but momentarily I'd imagine they're going to be trying just to hang around this hook, trying to see if they can guarantee the second stage. Now it all depends on the survivor that's trying to sneak in here. Can they snipe the save for free here, or potentially get, at the very least get the traders? We do see the survivor starting to run in. They want to run in a little bit earlier because the last thing you want to see is getting body blocked by the killer right next to the hook, which is what you're seeing right now. Two teacher, no, just barely not able to get that body block off. That would have been absolutely massive. It was kind of left last second, getting the tag as well for the troubles on the Sakuda, just to try and deny any shenanigans that could possibly happen here with the FTP, but they're going to be vaulting back into the killer there. Unfortunate. Maybe think they were going to go inside, but bouncing on the door instead. And now two teacher gets another hook here deep in the back of this now 3-gen, as they did take away that generator on that 11 side of the map, as two teacher was just made aware of that fact. And now two teacher trying to go towards this generator at 3. If they get rid of this generator at 3 before they can get this pop, no, it looks like they're going to be able to get the pop off just in time. That would have been absolutely massive to get that one off. But now Pig injured. They actually might get a free down here for the trouble, and they absolutely will. As now Pig is kind of just left to their own devices, kind of forced to go edge map to die right there. And now two teacher playing so aggressive, the slug coming out, just making sure they're going to be able to get this. Pop goes the weasel, did not want to let go of this regen, and I think that is the right call here. Going to be going back for their tunnel. Now Pig needs to get picked up. That's a little bit of extra pressure now, time that's going to be wasted in this chase that two teacher has on Pig and, oh no, sorry, Sakuda, to try and get them out of this game. And this would be an absolutely immense down, as I think this is very, very tense here. It's going to all kind of boil down to this chase and how long this could potentially last, potentially.
Especially if it is our anti-tunnel build at the moment. Playing around the pallet very nicely on the side of two teacher. I'd just take the zone break, in all honesty, play it a little bit more safe as we do recollect our rushes. The Champion of Light not quite coming into effect, as we didn't have line of sight on the killer there. We are going to be greeting the pallet on the side of Sakuda, winning the 50, slapping the pallet into two teacher's face, blinding him in the process with Champions of Light. Now where does he go? He has access to main. He has access to around this coal tower bucket, which can be pretty detrimental. Was that a missed dead hard? I didn't quite get to see if we can quite get just a view on how Sakuda's going to approach the situation, just as far as his POV is concerned. We do have access to the main pallet, but we're going to be greeting it again. Greeting it twice even! The body block in the background, but we've caught them out, and we're trying to scare them away, but he's not falling for nothing. He's going to be swinging through that pallet, ultimately connecting on the side of two teachers picked up. That's ambitious. I think this is a pallet. Oh, no! Oh, I thought it was a save, and that's a time that 3-gens remaining with a 3-gen at the top side. Wait, we have 9 or 10 done, sorry. We do have access to main 3 and 1, so it is still a 3-gen. It's not the tightest 3-gen that you've seen, because there is this generator that's leading into the middle of the map on the side of 3. We haven't wait for our eruption proc there. My, oh my, that was something. Okay, never mind. Maybe we're just a little bit confident and we want to get this pressure up and running along the way. No BS, but we do see the scratch marks leading over into main. There is somebody just hiding out there, but we're really trying to catch out this person over at 3 who's ran all the way back down into corner 3. Wrong side to be running. Can we catch them out on the side of two teacher? Anticipating a preemptive window vault, but not falling for it onto the side of whoever this is. It is our Meg player. It is Neas, who is running all the way down into the bottom half of the map here, faking the window once and just winning the 50, running to the long side again. Does have access to a pallet gym that's going to be going down imminently, and it does so very nicely. We do have 4 in the background being popped, and you can only anticipate that that person over at main is on a generator once more. So we really need this tag coming in quick, and we know it on the side of two teacher. Ultimately not making the flick, unfortunately, the shoulder flick not turning enough, and now we are going to be... I was going to say we're going to be eating a tag through that pallet, but I'm eating my words, and now I'm pretty sure we're just forced to leave this. Yeah, we've spent a little too much time. We don't want to overcommit this survival with no tag in hand, and especially with no tag in hand, really. But we are going to be going all the way to the top side of the map here. And yeah, like clockwork, this generator was pumping away. That is 2.5 pistons. So it's about 50 to 60%. We do see the scratch marks over in main. So there is somebody just camping the middle of it. And we have ran to the long side. We do have access to the short filler over at 2. This is Chillin'. And Chillin', he is with light in hand, is going to be making around that short filler again. Now, do we just zone break here? Don't get flicky with it. Just zone break. Get rid of the resources. You can't afford it. We are going to be zone breaking at the cost of getting our rushes back here, but I don't think we catch up in time. I think Chillin actually makes whatever he wants to be making. He's going to go for a little bit of a locker juke, no 360 in hand at the moment, but he's going to be emerging through, getting hit straight down and running all the way down into the bottom half of the map. Now, are they going for a 2-split here? He doesn't opt to chase this on the side of 2Teacher. He's really worried about that main generator, as that is still within our 3-gen. We don't really care about that one over at 7. You already know that's being worked, and you already know you're going to lose it. So we are going to be taking the tag onto Nears here. I don't know if there's any eruption procced onto that main generator, but as we do take chase back into the middle of the map, we are going to be greeting everything because there's no pallet, no resource in hand, only a window and a dream. We are going to be missing the flick, though, on the side of 2Teacher. He's playing very antsy, very preemptive. He knows he wants to get those quick downs, but ultimately in the end, if he was just to play a little bit more safe, I think that this all would have fell into his grasp a little bit easier. But as I say that, we are going to be going down on the side of Nears. That is 7 being popped. We are going to be slugging and trying to maintain pressure on the side of our 3-gen, but there's not enough progression to be able to break it at this current time.
Yeah, and I think it all kind of comes back from the start of the shift of this momentum came from that clutch Sakuda chase. As I mentioned, I feel like a lot of the game is going to ride on that chase, and he lasted quite a while there, especially with Link coming in, playing a bit of distraction. And I think ever since then, their chases have just been on point, kind of lifting the morale of the Survivor team here. Sakuda has been immaculate today, playing chase insanely well on the Survivor side, and honestly, has been a bit of a star, I think, in today's best of 3 when it comes to the mechanical chase side of things. But now 2Teacher kind of forced here to try and leave this deli hook. Oh no, might try and go back and cut them off, see if they can maybe try and get a free down. I was going to say they are the only injured survivor right now, so they definitely need to try and get a down on them. Going to be swinging there, but fruitless effort as Meg is going to have enough time on that black cooldown to make that window vault, and now can make it towards the bottom side of the map. But no, it's actually second wind, is it, that actually came through there, so able to get the heal off instead, not the deli, my bad. And now we have 3 healthy survivors with 1 generator remaining. This is not what you'd like to see on the killer side. There is a lot of pressure right now. They're gonna have to get a few consecutive rush hits here in very quick succession to try and bring the momentum back here, as now Pig gonna be playing the pallet here very, very nicely. The swing barely not gonna come through there, is going to be missing. Now Pig just kind of running around this rock and doing a really good job doing so, as now 2Teacher knows that the gen progress is going to be getting made. The tag going to be coming through. Now the choice is they're going to have to probably leave here. They're trying to apply pressure on this generator. It's going to be getting awfully close. I'd imagine it's going to be getting completed. It's actually that close. It is all done. And that is 5 generators complete, which is absolutely crazy when you take it back to Sakuda, getting out of the game when they did, and just like, well, when they potentially could have, and bringing it back with that 1 chase. And now we're in this intense end game as Nears is going to be going down to an insane rush hit, but that is the 1 hook survivor in the situation. So 2Teacher definitely wants to try and get fresh hooks if possible, but we're going to be seeing Pig injured on the door, actually near where 12 is. A 2Teacher now going to be trying to go to stop this door. They're not going to be able to get in the locker in time, as that's going to be the slug, but they're going to be forced to pick because they're too close to the door here, and they're going to be getting the hook. But now the pickup will probably come through onto Nia from Lin, you would imagine, most likely, to try and get as many stages out this door as they're going to be making their way over to main now. That is an additional fresh hook in the backside of this game, which is very, very important considering how the back half of this game has been going for the killer side.
Don't tell me it's true. He's found out the only stealthing survivor that's remaining in the trial, Chillin.
No way.
No, and he's the unbreak player, so we do. Wait, what?
Oh,
the?
that was Deli.
Okay, we're safe. We're safe. Hold on a second. So we do take the tag onto Chillin there. Is going to be now following up with these rushes on the side of 2Teacher, probably zoning him back into the map now. Doesn't want to waste these rushes. That will be the other survivor up and running in the trial. If only it was that slug survivor that was our deli player. We're in absolute trouble. Chillin, the only fresh hook in the trial as it currently stands, and if we get him down and make sure that he's on a hook, this will be a very, very respectable result, regardless of the fact that you would anticipate 4Ks on this map. We are playing for best possible result on the side of our survivors. But in all honesty, maybe they should have just made the door at some point, because now they're just kind of caught out here, and this can spell a little bit more stages than we would have liked. So, I mean, Pig just kind of caught out at the exit gate. We are going for the totem break on the side of Near, so he really wants to get that full health state at the cost of just being a little bit more safe. So if he gets it off, it pays off, but I think he will. You're going to take this hook over into the middle portion of the map anyway, and if 2Teacher is smart enough, he knows he has access to only the 2 survivors just stuck over at main, or the main side of the map, so the top side of the map. But look, that's just allowed them to exit the door. Doesn't really matter. I mean, all in all, how many stages is that? If my math serves me correctly, that's 3, 4, 7, 8. 8 stages for fresh. So a very respectable result regardless. We are going for a little bit of a heal over here in the gate. So maybe we're just trying to scare off our killer a little bit. I mean, or maybe we're just not giving up entirely. We want to be playing for those extra stages. That's mighty ambitious if we tend to do so. But no, we're going to get the reset.
Blood points, you know?
Yeah, getting the blood point repertoire when it comes to that DBD, really. But we are going to be loading in on the side of Sakuda, all the way over the top side of the map. He's going to be taking those rushes going to the bottom side. Probably going to hold the choke point here and try to see if we can find any stealthing survivors, as you do when you first start into a match. And we are going to be holding this bot side. We do see scratch marks, I think, over at that middle portion of the map, but we've opted to go all the way over into 8, and we do see the killer notification heading over towards more of that bottom mid side. There was somebody just vaulting the window there for life to get up to the map in very quick succession. He's going to be pre-dropping this pallet. It's Stay Naros now taking chase. 2-4 is going to be looking for any fillers that we can use in this area. And sometimes this area can be very dead on this map these days. I mean, it's just not very strong, but we do have a very prominent 2 rock filler there, which will be pre-dropped in. We aren't going to be committing.
Are they looping themselves?
I thought we saw somebody. I think, in all honesty, they've just debated it very nicely. Look, it's Quinn. Yeah, no, Quinn one. No, I saw Quinn once was there, and he's not anymore. But Sakuda going to be going back to the top portion of the map here, and he really wants to have this first chase a lot quicker than what he has been at the moment. I mean, this is grounds for the survivor to be starting to break their generators that are. Oh my god, actually, we actually do see someone just like over in the edge map there. There was a scratch marks just appearing on the wall. He's going to be 2 teacher. Sometimes getting a little bit mixed with chilling with the way he's playing, my god, but he's going to be making the window with the medium vault. Does have life all the way over into 8, pre-dropping this pallet again. Running around it or choosing to play the 50, whichever you like. Playing another 50, but winning it. So back to back, winning the 50s, delaying the tag very nicely. Is going to be still winning them 50s. That's the third 51 at the cost of being tagged at the moment. Now running back into 8. Greeting the pallet very, I was about to say very ambitious, but we opted to fake the greet. I like that. That's W right there. Gonna be pre-dropping the Ormond filler. And now Sakuda just forced to play around it. We have baited out the vault though, unfortunately. That will be the first down of the trial.
Yeah, and it's all kind of come down to this. It's going to be, it's all riding on this last trial, as we've mentioned before. And now it's going to be Sea Dragon's killer. It's all up to them. The survivor side for them have done all they can do. And now KaitOkids survivor side is just a push and pull right now to see who can take this best of 3. And I would say KaitOkids actually have a pretty good start here to try and take this game, as we do see the Wretch Fate being proc now onto Starry. The totem, it can be seen there at the front of the main building, so that's probably going to have to get taken out momentarily. The Pop Goes a Weasel Eruption proc going to be coming through as well. I think we did have a bit of a forge in, I think, on this top side of the map, but they were able to get one of the generators out of the way in that initial chase, which is definitely what you like to see. Starry going to be now getting committed to into this chase by Sakuda. Starry trying to make their way towards the bottom side of the map because they do want to dismantle at least one more generator on that top side as they are doing progress. The eruption coming out, and what a big hit through the window there. Absolutely crazy. Starry now going to be getting thrown onto the meat hook here after that for the people onto 2 teachers, just to try and delay the tunnel out, which is definitely what you want to do against the S tier killers. And now that generator is getting awfully close, but I think with the dashes and the rushes coming through, I think they will be able to get a pop on it again.
Maybe. I mean, only time will tell, and we do interrupt the generator here over at 1. We are going to be committing chase. No, taking the kick here first up, getting that eruption and pain. Eruption and pop goes away. It was the second time I've said pain resonance this time around, but we are going to be tagging White, now following chase back into mid. No, we are leaving that, so very smart to go for the tunnel out here. No, we're committing. Okay, interesting work. This is a fresh hook at the moment, so maybe we're starting to go for our freshes very early on into the trial, or early days. Oh no, we've medium vaulted that and played that ever so wrongly. We are going to be taking another pick onto one of the survivors. This will be our third fresh White. We do need 8 stages. Well, we need 9 stages. We can't settle for 8 stages because of the half stage deduction. So following chase back onto Quinn is going to be running the 7 tile here, greeting the pallet very nicely. Zoned into the edge map though. Oh my god, the flare! No way! We're pumping! And now we're going to be able to make the loop again once more. Dropping it, maybe. Yes. Faking the drop first up, but dropping it the second time around.
I'll try it again.
The flare not working that time. Sakura, way too smart for that. But going to be leaving the fresh hook this time. Going to be kicking this generator. That's twice. That was 2 generators that were just ready to pop. We just needed them to pop. But we're getting the slap stunned again. And now we're just blinding the killer, trying to make away. No champion of light this time. It do be the pubs. And now we're getting... Oh, I thought we were going to go for another spin there. But regardless of that fact, we are going to be going down straight in front of this generator. And even with the pressure in the background, I still say the killer does have the upper hand just at this point in time of the match. So we are going to be hooking here back over at the top side. And if we take a look at our generators, the 3-gen is gone. And now the game is officially on, where we do have access to 4 stages in our back pocket. So, I mean, you know, we do still need 5 in total. You know, 8 stages, not enough to take away the series. So Sakura going to be trying to pressure this survivor away and try to get an early tag, but not quite working out in his favor. We do think that somebody is around and we're sniffing them out for this extra quick pull. But yeah, there was somebody. My God, he was right entirely that entire time. And now White is going to be winning that stun. Stunned again ×2. Is going to be running back into the window. No access to the window here on the main building, unfortunately. Going to be eating a tag and now running to the very deep top portion here over at 12. Does have this filler here over at 11, but opts to greet it now. The rushes are back in the hand of Sakura. He's going to play his bump logic really nicely. Ooh. Connecting the rush. If he missed that, that was problems. He needed that, Peps.
Yeah, no, he needed that. The timing. This could go either way right now, as they're keeping the gen pressure high, but Sakura is getting so many clutch downs, so many clutch tags that are so close, but is so meaningful with the way that this game's been playing out. And I think Sakura might have realized with the pace that KaitOkids have in this set at the moment, he kind of had to try and go for the fresh hooks and trying to play around the actual win con at hand here, trying to play around the stages maybe to try and guarantee this victory, as now Starry is going to be taking that tag going towards the top side of the map, which is where it seems like they're calling where their death locations want to be. No palace to utilize. I like that from Sakura, not allowing a potential flare to come through, just going to be guaranteeing that down. Generator going to be completed. They need to complete 2 more generators, and they can't really afford to bleed any more stages really at this point, to be honest.
No, at the moment it's, yeah, you're right, 6 stages. So, I mean, they still have 2 to give up. They do have to start turning on the jets though, because yes, like you said, there's 2 generators left to be done. And as we do take another chase onto White, he only has access to the main building here, and he has greeted the window, greeted the pallet too. This is just down. No, you can't be doing that. You have to play the pallet, unfortunately. There's just no way in hell you make anything. He had all rushes. That's just going to be White out of the game now, and that's just going to make a lot more work for the survivors to really prevail through this, because you have 3 survivors left in the trial, 1 injured and on death hook, and a total of 2 generators to complete to make sure that you get those outs. I mean, now it's just looking extremely unlikely at the cost of, you know, just a misplay. I mean, you can't really fault him in that regard. He is injured and he is on death hook and he has been caught and didn't really have a lot to go on. So maybe Sakura just really taking advantage and really forcing the survivors into a position where they didn't want to be. And we do see them taking the game very slowly now. They know that they can't afford to give anything up. So at the moment, I do believe it is, let me just do the math in my head real quick, because once again, don't have the sheets open. So I think that's 7 stages at the moment. One
if
more.
It was 4 fresh 8, it can't be tight. So I think it's 2 more stages for a guaranteed
that's right.
on the killer. One more stage they can afford to give, I think, at this point. I think.
My, oh my. Yeah, problems because you have 2 generators left to do. This is not what you want. Anyway, just like, look, we're in the middle of it all at the moment. We know somebody's here over the top side. We see somebody just kind of lingering around. And if this is our death hook survivor, which it is, it's going to be even more problems. But not opting to chase them, trying to go for somebody out of position on these generators is going to be Quinn, just losing that 50 there. Just trying to greet the pallet a little bit too much. Now it's forced over into 11 after eating that tag. Does have access to another pallet as it wasn't used a little bit before by White. He did greet it a little bit earlier on in the trial. Now pre-dropping it is Quinn, but I don't think he makes that. No, he does. So it's a very nice distance work there from the side of Quinn. He's going to be greeting the pallet again, but we've given up pallet possession. This is ultimately going to be a down. I was joking. Okay, Quinn's turned on the Jets. This is what you need. Hold on a second. But we've missed the blind entirely. That's going to be a quick V1 tech into a down, and oh my god, all of a sudden, yes, it is looking extremely likely. Hang on a second. Wait, that last generator is about to pop your Pep's takeover. Hold on.
That's actually awfully close. Starry is going to be able to maybe complete this generator. They're dropping the firecracker to try and buy a bit of time here. They're both jumping on this generator. It's going to be completed, but at what cost? A tag will most certainly come through. They need to try and somehow not allow another down to come through. The stun's going to be coming, and it's going to be working as Sakuda, as KaitOkids are trying to keep the set alive right now. I think right now we are on that Tycon, essentially. The save's going to be coming through. The subsequent down's going to be coming through right now. Two Teachers going to be immediately picking up, and is going to be throwing Sakuda. It's going to be throwing Two Teacher onto that meat hook, and now they're going to have to try and scramble to see if they are able to try and get these doors, but I'm pretty sure this is a win, if not tied right now, and they have to try. No, it can't be tied, sorry.
Is it? Wait, hang on a second. So they're all on Death Hook. It's a win. Yeah, they win by half a stage. So Chinese Dragons ultimately will be taking away the set to a nail-biting series. My god, you thought that, KaitOkids had them, and they definitely did at some points, but unfortunately, all crumbling down. Yeah, the invisible wall running into the invisible wall next to the rock. It's just mighty unfortunate stuff. Both survivors healthy, so you can anticipate at least one out, one stage out the door. Ultimately, my god, you know what? Wow, I didn't expect it to be this close and gone for this long. I think we're heading into oh my god, like a 2.5 hour stream if I counted that right. But yeah, no, we're in for a long night. We're in for a long night. But yeah, there's the door open. There is Two Teacher playing for the hatch over at the shack here. I'm not too sure. Wait, hang on a second, sir. You're on the wrong side of the shack, my boy.
Wrong side, yeah.
Wait, have both of them not realized that? Hold on a sec. Hang on, mate. What's going on here? What have we done here? We saw the window. What's going on? That's going to be the Mori. One stage out the door. 11 stage. So they got stages out on this kind of these kind of vibes. My god, okay. So I anticipated some sort of a 4K on either side, but you know what? I was wrong, and